twilight hours, a man might still come in for a dish of coffee or chocolate, and enjoy reading a newspaper, or hearing one read to him. Come sundown, he would need a constitution of iron to attend to dry words. Here now were nearly as many whores as there were gamers, and fine-looking whores at that. Search not at Kingsley's for diseased or half-starved doxes from Covent Garden or St. Giles. Indeed, the paragraph writers reported that Mrs. Kingsley herself inspected the jades to ensure they met her exacting standards. On hand as well were musicians who played lively ditties, while an unnaturally slender posturer contorted his death's head of a face and skeletal body into the most unlikely shapes and attitudes, all while the crowd duly ignored him. Here were middling bottles of claret and port and Madeira to please discriminating men, too distracted to discriminate. And here, most importantly, were the causes of the distraction, the gaming tables. I could not have said what made Kingsley's tables rise from obscurity to glory. They looked much like any other, and yet the finest people of London directed their coachmen to this temple of fortune. After the play, after the opera, after the rout and the assembly, Kingsley's was the very place. Playing at faro were several well-situated gentlemen of the ministry, as well as a member of the House of Commons, more famous for his lavish parties than for his skills as a legislator. Losing at piquet was the son of the Duke of Norwich. Several sprightly beaux tried to teach the celebrated comedienne Nance Oldfield to master the rules of hazard, and good luck to them, for it was a perplexing game. The great brought low, and the low raised high. It all amused and entertained me, but my disposition mattered little. The silver in my purse and the bank-notes in my pocket were not mine to wager according to my own inclinations. They were marked for the shame of a particular gentleman, one who had previously humiliated the man on whose behalf I now entered a contest of guile and deceit. I spent a quarter of an hour walking through Kingsley's, enjoying the light of countless chandeliers and the warmth of their fires, for winter had come hard and early that year, and outside all was ice and bitter cold. At last, grown warm and eager with the music and laughter and the enticements of whores buzzing in my head, I began to formulate my plan. I sipped at thinned Madeira and sought out my man without seeming to seek out anyone. Such was an easy task, for I had dressed myself as a beau of the most foppish sort, and if the nearby revellers took notice of me, they saw only a man who wished to be noticed. And what can be more invisible than that? I wore an emerald and gold outer coat, embroidered almost beyond endurance, a waistcoat of the same colour but opposing design, bright with brass buttons of some 4 inches in diameter. My breeches were of the finest velvet, my shoes more silver-buckled than shiny leather, and the lace of my sleeves blossomed like frilly blunderbusses. That I might go unrecognised, should anyone there know my face, I also wore a massive wig of the wiry sort that was fashionable that year among the more peacockish sort of man. When the time and the circumstances seemed to me as I wished them, I approached the cacho table and came upon my man. He was a fellow my own age or thereabouts, dressed very expensively, but without the frills and bright colours in which I'd costumed myself. His suit was of a sedate and dark blue with red trim, embroidered tastefully with gold thread, and he looked quite well in it. In truth, he had a handsome face beneath his short bob wig. At his table he contemplated with the seriousness of a scholar the 3 cards in his hand, and said something in the general direction of the ample breasts belonging to the whore upon his lap. She laughed, which I suspected was in no small degree how she earned her master's favour. This man was Robert Baylor. I had been hired by a Mr. Jerome Cobb, whom it seemed Baylor had humiliated in a game of chance, the outcome of which, my patron believed, owed more to chicanery than fortune. The tale I had been told unfolded accordingly. Subsequent to losing a great deal of money, my patron had discovered that Baylor possessed the reputation of a gamer who misliked the randomness of chance as much as he misliked duels. Mr. Cobb, acting upon his prerogative as a gentleman, challenged this Baylor, but Baylor had insolently excused himself, leaving the injured gentleman with no option but perfidy of his own. Needing a man to act as his agent in these matters, he had sought me out, and addressed his needs to me. I was, according to Mr. Cobb's instruction, to manufacture